Okay, so it's 3:30. Yesterday, the weirdest thing happened. I swear to God. I looked at the clock and it was like 11:40. It was like almost 11:45. And so I thought, well, I'm gonna go start making food. And I don't know why I kept thinking of eating at 12, because sometimes I eat lunch at like 9:30 in the morning because I've been up like 10 hours. So and it was weird, but I took notice of the time. And I went in and I started cooking, and I'm in the kitchen messing around and cooking and stuff. I come out to sit down. I look over at the clock. It's 11:45. I was like, "There's no fucking way that will happen in 1 minute. Like, how in the hell did all that happen in 1 minute? Like, what the fuck?" Like, it was the weirdest thing. I was just like, those are the kind of things where it's just like, well, is there so many things like right now? Like, I don't even know how to. Like, I don't like it. Sometimes it barely feels like you're holding on to reality. It's so fucking weird. Um, but, I'll tell you a couple of weird things, like, oh, my sometimes when I look, it looks like my face is morphine. Oh, yeah, let's look at my tooth. I can't even believe, how much better. Like, this is all I haven't even gotten that toothpaste is supposed to be doing all that. I'm really curious to see how that works, because this has got to be just from the minerals that I'm taking, that our body is able to do this. And the reason that some people are not having that is, and especially as people are aging and their teeth are breaking off, because think about all these people like dentures, all these people have dentures, and now the implant thing, which the implant thing is a dangerous game, even though it seems like this big solution, but there's other people who are doing all this whole like veneer thing in their teeth, across their teeth. And that is, I don't even, it seems so fucking painful to me, but I don't know. They whittle your teeth down and then they put fake teeth over them. And so they have us going through such ridiculous stuff, especially when our bodies can heal themselves, but all over this aesthetic, or this visual thing or something, uh, um, with the teeth, because I don't know, people go in and do things to their teeth, like when I was younger, I had some crooked teeth, and I think they wanted me to wear this headgear for a while. Then they wanted to do something. I was like, I did the headgear for a short time. I think it was like 13. I was pretty much had to, and but I didn't want that. I don't want to. I mean, to me, I know some people's get really messed up. And some people have them like stacked on top of each other. I mean, sometimes things need to be done, I think. Um, but I think some people want their teeth to, like, some people would be like, no way, I'd get those fixed. And then to me, it's like, why? Like, why would you do that? And so, anyways, I thought that for a long time. But then my kids all had, their teeth were really crooked. Mine, you get it from your grandparent. It skips a generation. So if you wore braces, then your kids won't, and then their kids will. It goes like that. And so my mom wore braces, and then I didn't, and then my kids all did. And one of my kids, though, she just had a gap, but she wanted it closed because everybody else got to have braces and got to have perfect teeth. So she wanted her gap closed. And I think that's kind of turned into a nightmare, because she's had to do braces twice, because they shift the people's teeth around, and then your teeth will keep shifting, especially if you don't wear your retainer all the time. And they put these retainers in, but they're not totally effective, and they break off, and then people aren't seeing the orthopedic, what is that doctor called? The orthodontist anymore. Then it's hard to find, to go and do that stuff, I guess. I don't know. Haven't had to deal with that. But I've had my other own teeth issues, though. So, anyways, I just it just seems like if we weren't so caught up in trying to look beautiful by their beauty standard, that we would just take better care of ourselves, you know? A part of it is this this angle of trying to drive our sensation into wanting to be sensational looking, I guess. So I don't know. There's something that just it's inside of us, and we hook on and we get driven by it, and then it's corrupted kind of an institution, and that is that's what we're seeing. We're seeing it all around us. What is the corrupted institution is a corporation, and humanity has been corrupted by this institution. And so, but it's up to us to realize that we're more than what they want to, yeah, an angler. It was something about fish, like, they want to convince us we're guppies, but we're really like the big mouth bass, or I don't know. I'm not a fisherman, so I don't know like the challenge fish. I know like deep sea fishing. I have been on one of those trips before. And I don't know. I just look at everything so different now. It's just so, that's what's so hard. That's why I know it's gonna kick some people's asses, because I've had a slow kind of like going through it, and dealing with it, and all that. And these people are all gonna be hit from behind. It's like that. Yeah, it is like the universe has pulled the chair out from under him, but also the person standing behind him, and then whatever that little trick is. But the universe is doing it for a good cause. Like, the souls in their depth really appreciate the occurrences, but the human vessel doesn't have the connection to the soul, so it has the more of the drive of the fear, and the fear of the unknown. And but it's trippy because your soul really knows, but you don't link the two together. Just like you can see something and want something, but then to get up and go get it is like a different thing. So it's this link between the mind, body, spirit. I'm telling you, it has to do with your mind, body, spirit healing. And let me think, because there was something else it seems like I was saying, but I'll show you the tooth thing, because I think, and when I am seeing it, when I'm being shown in my head, is because I was looking at it, and in my head, because that's where I had to look at it. And then but I was getting visuals. And so it was showing me, because I kept on being like when you ask the questions, then you will be shown, and it's going to be shown to you in a way that you can comprehend. If you can't comprehend, unless that is your thing, if your soul is like, well, we're going to work on this, then that's what you're going to be working on. And so if you keep getting visuals and stuff, then, it's your try and understand them, and just, and you always ask for clarity. You always, say, I need clarity. I'm not sure what you're saying here. I don't know what you mean by this. And anyway, so what they were showing me was how it was going to heal. And so I have nothing to worry about. But it is, and it's so much like a skinned knee. And, but as it goes, that the white will keep healing. And as it is healing the dark, it's going to keep looking like the dark gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And it's going to almost look like it's going inside, but it's really all of the outside is healing around it. And then so it just is going to close in. But because it's like so trippy how much it's like closing in. And so anyways, I'll show you again, so everybody can see as it happens. Because I think we all need to have this confidence in our own bodies and the abilities that we really do carry, and how much that they fool us. And I don't know, it's just always been kind of in my blood to reject their the way that they tell us, well, it has to be this way, it has to be that way. But that is what has gotten me, called crazy throughout my life, and foolish and impulsive and all these different things. But I feel like a part of it is the programming. I wasn't in the room for all the programming they were doing in school. They couldn't keep me in the room. And so my mind would always be out. I wouldn't be there. And so I think when people were getting programmed, I just wasn't. And that is why they wanted attention deficit kids to start being medicated so that they could pay attention in the room and that they could get programmed from what I have learned at this point. Oh, and it's quite interesting. Okay, so there was a big case going on. And I had asked my mom if she had heard about something. What was it? It was something that I thought, man, this is really big. And she said, no, she wasn't hearing about it on the news. And I was like, maybe it was the assassination. And she goes, but I have heard a lot about the vigilante thing that happened in the subway. I think it's the subway. I don't know all this story, but a guy who was, I think he was a ranger or some kind of military guy, and some kind of shit went down on the subway, and then he's like, hog, and saved all the people from this guy who ends up having this really severe record of really assaultive crimes, kidnapped, like he's a bad guy. And this vigilante guy protects the people, and this guy, that guy, I think he's, and this guy gets charged with murder. So then it turns into this whole thing. So all the people were on the side of this guy. And my mom was telling me it's just outrageous. I just can't even believe it. And then there was like 2 trials. Like there was a mistrial, then there was another mistrial, and something else. So anyways, he's been found not guilty. I think they made a lesser charge and recharged him or something. I guess there got to be a mistrials or something. I don't know. It's a fucking, it's part of the show. That's what I'll say. It's a big old part of the show. Because then I saw this morning on a news clip that this whole thing, I was like, who is this guy? Because they're making this big thing about all this stuff at court. And I was like, who is this guy? So that is when I went and saw, like, oh, this is the guy who she was talking about. So anyway, she didn't hear about the other one that I was talking about. She'd only been hearing about this one. This morning, when I got up, there was a message that she said, they are completely flooded in the news. And this is so, like, I'm telling you, that things have turned. As so they the news is so flooded about the Jay-Z, and oh yeah, okay, I remember now. Okay, so it is so flooded with the Jay-Z, and what it reminded me of because I was, there was something I was up thinking about during the night, and I couldn't think of what it was, and it was putting me off from starting, and I was like, fuck, I have no idea what that was. And then all of a sudden just came in. But what reminded me was because when I start talking about it, I'm going to talk I'm going to talk in code. And on this, it was making me feel like, oh, you got to remember to talk in code. And then me thinking of that reminded me of the other one. So anyways, the other one is about 2 women sitting there getting and what I'm going to say in code is instead of saying a hard CH, I'm going to call it a soft CH. So it's going to be a ch instead of a k. So when I start talking about it. So anyways, this is the, so, so this is all over the news, she said, but what they're talking about is the human sacrifice, the blood, the devil rituals and all that stuff. She said that is what they're talking about, is all that. It's all getting linked in. And that's funny, LinkedIn, yeah. It's all getting linked in all together. And they're just, I'm telling you, it's like they're fucking reeling in the big one now. Like, here it comes. And, yeah, oh yeah, it is kind of, it is like they're all these people are reeling in the big ones. It's like we're at a fucking show. All these fishermen, because when they have the, because this was going on when I was there in Mexico, they have these a contest or something, like these big fishermen guys, they pay in to this thing, and then there's all this money that they can win, and so all these big fishermen go out and do this deep sea fishing thing. It's like it's a festival or something, and then there's this whole competition and who's gonna win, and I think it's pretty I don't know, it's big money. And so anywhere money goes, you know what follows behind? A lot of greed and corruption. So Anyways, that's what it's like right now though. It's like we are at the thing. We got all the fishermen and they're all pulling in a big one. And so we're going to be having a lot of big ones, I think, is going to be going at the same time. And that's what's going to start really fucking with people's minds because, like I said, a lot of us, we've had a long time to process through this. And it's been a part of our healing journey is to process through all of this world, this reality. And these people, it's going to all hit them at once. But like I've said, a lot of the people who I know who the awakening thing is at different levels. It's like there's a lot of people who have been working on things to improve themselves, improve their lives, improve their jobs and stuff like that, but they just don't understand reality. They're disconnected from their soul in a very deep, profound way. And it's like they don't even know their soul exists. They're just waiting to die. They're here to just have fun. Like there's a whole thing that's going to happen that's going to click for a lot of people. And in that group as well is going to be all the people who are waiting on Jesus, who all of a sudden have to realize, no, you're waiting on you. You are the one who's here to save you. And so that is going to be like, what? That is going to start them on a whole new take responsibility for themselves. And that's why I said there's going to be a lot of people who are not going to be able to complete the whole thing. Because it's going to be like quicksand to some people. They're going to be so lost. I think that's why there's going to be so many healing centers and stuff that are going to come, because people are going to be so lost because they haven't been taught how to heal. And even the people who you think of, your psychiatrists, your psychologists and all that stuff, those people are all going to be in the same position. Everybody is going to be like, it's going to be new information that's going to be coming to help people along the way, because the old information is stale and stagnant and it keeps us stuck in this hamster wheel life. And so it's part of the trappings to keep us under control. So anyways, that is where it's, we're still right. It's like, like any moment, I swear to God, there's a huge fire in California. And so who knows? I heard that there was going to be evacuation, something with Sandy and wind. So, and I think it's by Malibu. So no telling how much damage this one will do. And then it will be mudslides and everything else. So it's just going to keep, but the good news on that stuff is it is like whittling away. Because we don't really want the huge drama thing of all of a sudden this huge earthquake to happen and California to flip up on its side and fall in the ocean with a bunch of people there. Like, it's okay if it wants to do that, but let's try and get the people out of there first. And so, at the slow dwindling kind of things, is better. And I have seen more. I saw a girl yesterday and she said, I'm leaving California. She was already on the road. She's just like, fuck it, I'm out. And she just said, she decided 2 hours ago, and she was in Arizona at this point. And she said she was just, she went through all of what she had been going through with the jobs and there's places that, the places that are cheap to live, there's no jobs. In the places that are expensive to live, that you, let's see, how it was very backwards. So the places that were expensive to live, there was lots of jobs, but it was, I don't remember what she was saying, but there was problems. Just problems. And they are raising the minimum wage to $19 an hour. That is how much mishandling of money. I mean, I know, like, when it got raised like 15 in Washington State, and I was in Texas doing that movie with my brother, and he was talking about his kids and their money, and and a lot of times they would have to move in with them and stuff still. And I was like, I didn't have that kind of situation. And then when I found out they were making $7 an hour as a manager, I was like, what? $7 an hour? Like, I'm assuming that they're making they're making half the amount of money. And I was like, what in the holy hell? The house difference is the living cost of living is not that different when I'm in the two different places. And yeah, you could get some houses cheaper there, but in Spokane, they had already jacked up the prices. They had already come in at when they did that, because when the houses are cheap, they go in and these LLCs and shit, and then the Amazons move in, and then this corporate, like, it's all fucking shenanigans. It's all game, and then they pull resources, and they just want control of us, and they want us to just stay in their ride and play in their games. And so, anyways, yeah, that's fucking absurd. And then they're about to go like to 17 or $19 or whatever it was she said. I think she said it was 17 and it's about to go to $19 an hour or something like that. I'm weird with numbers. So anyways, if I'm off on the numbers a bit. So, that is insane. And so she said, no, she's leaving. She didn't give a shit. And there's just too much bullshit. And so, and see, I think there's going to be more and more of that. It's like, that is where the universe is giving people nudges. Like, this place sucks. Come on, guys. Come on. Like, you really want to live like this? And it's got to be that question in your soul. And then, like, to me, then there still is the thing is like, yeah, I want to go, but then there's timing, and they have their timing. And maybe with her, that was the right time. That was the time she was supposed to go, and she finally listened. Maybe they had been poking her and telling her, let's go, let's go, let's go. And she kept saying, no, I'm going to try this. No, I'm going to try that. And then finally she was like, okay, I'm going. And then it just go. But for some of us, it's like, yeah, I'm ready to go. Where are we going? Where are we going? What do you guys got for me? And then it just keeps staying. It's like when they keep pulling the rug out from under you from going, it's because you're not supposed to go. And the more you try and force it is what you'll look at in your in your life review. When you're not going in sync with yourself, that'll be for you to understand and see. Nobody's living inside of you. Nobody can tell you how to fix it. You got to go and figure it out for yourself. And so, but that is why I keep trying to tell people it's important. These things are important because they're like a holdup in your life review. Your life review, yeah, it's kind of like that. What I was seeing is the filtering system, our filtering system, and how clogged up it is right now. Oh, and yesterday we went out, we went for our walk, and so we're going, and they just meander. Stella will just go right outside of our gate and just start eating grass. She's just like a little hippo or a little cow. And so she just goes out there and she's just eating grass. And Max, as he's ready and raring to go, let's go, go, go. And he's just like, like he's just the cutest, sweetest guy. And yesterday, Archie would not let up on the humping him, and he really was. He was fed up. And once I started spraying Archie with the water, then it kind of gives Max more empowerment, like somebody is going to take care of me, because he keeps trying to run under my legs. And I think I wasn't noticing maybe at first, but this is our awareness. You're thinking about something else, you're doing something else, and Archie he goes total gremlin. I'm not even shitting you. It is the weirdest thing. His whole face, his whole thing, and he starts doing that. His eyes start bugging. He's such a character. And he's so funny too, because he's got that curly tail like a little piglet. That was one of the things I was going to say the other day when I was telling the pig story, was about, I've got this little piglet, and he's got this little curly tail and his little snorty nose, but he'll start spinning circles. Oh my God, he is such a character. Like I said before, he's like a little tornado. He's not all like good energy like these two, but then it's kind of like they get, like it's kind of boring. Then you bring in this little guy, and he kind of gives them something to live for. So, anyways, it's they're the cutest still. I think they're the cutest little pack. Is the way that they jump out. Like if one of them makes a little snicker, they all jump out. They got each other's back. They're at the door. They go running out the door. And Archie is the fastest runner. Oh my God, that guy can run so fast, and he is so fucking confident. The way he'll fly when he's coming up, but he'll run down there. When he's coming back, he'll open the door, and he's down there, and he wants to come back in. He will come running as fast as he can and fly up on the porch like. He is a character. That's all I can say. So anyways, we go out to go on our walk, And they're all three characters. They're all three just really fun. They give my life purpose too. When you're taking care of something else, even though sometimes like I can feel taken advantage of and I can stomp around like nobody cares about me here. Nobody cares if I get to do this. Everybody just wants me to do stuff for them all the time. Who's doing anything for me? The only one just sit and pet them. Who's gonna pet me? So anyways, so we go out and all of a sudden I see like, oh shit, she's bleeding. And I was just like this massive amount of blood on her back. And so I was like, okay, well, we should go. You got something that's on your back. And she had that one I had said where I was putting the DSMO on there, and it was, but it was real puffed up. It had just come like out of the blue too. And that happens with these things, I swear to God. And it was, and then all of a sudden it started puffing up really big. And so I was putting that stuff on it, and then it seemed like it was kind of like deflating or something. It didn't seem like, it seemed kind of like it had a slow leak or something. And so it kind of was depleting and kind of like sinking down a little in the middle or something. And so, and I kept thinking, I bet her harness rubs on that. But, she's got a thick coat and stuff. So, and it wasn't, it was seeming like it was really deep. But no, apparently it fucking opened. And it was the same gross, nasty ass stuff that was coming out of there. I guess it's a blood and stuff, but also it has like, where the things that like look congealed and stuff, I think that's, the problem is some of the bacteria, the toxins and shit. So, I cleaned it and cleaned it and cleaned it. I compressed all the stuff out this morning. It's still really flat. There's that other one that she had when I got the stuff out of it. Then it puffed back up. And that is one thing I was thinking. That is why they do that with those cysts. They pack them so that they heal, because it's the same thing. It has to heal inside. And so a couple times yesterday I did do like to feel and make sure, and there was still some goo and stuff coming out of it. But now we've gone through this with a few different ones. So she like knows that I'm helping her or something. And I always let her smell the stuff. Everything I do with her. Like I clean her ears, I let her smell it. And Archie's watching very intently. Then he wants me to clean his ears. And I can barely get anything in these little tiny ears. But then he wants to smell it. Everything I do on them, on her, they are like, oh, and then they want to smell it. Now I'm thinking Max is going to all of a sudden come up with an injury because he's going to think you get a lot of attention if you get injured. So we'll see. But anyway, so her thing still seems flat. And I'm sticking with the black seed oil. I'm going to take a break on the horse paste, but I still may have to do another round or two of it. But I'm going to keep on going with this. In the back of her legs, she has this total breakout on like the knee joints and a whole bunch of these little ones, and they're black and this black bruising looking thing. I've never seen anything like it. And so doing the Epsom salt on there, and then I keep rubbing the same stuff, the castor oil and the DSMO. Oh, and my belly button did it again. Started leaking out something, turned all red inside, and I don't know what the holy hell. It's so fucking freaky. Belly button has always freaked me out, always, ever since I was a little kid, especially because mine was like a protrudo, and then now it's like, where the fuck? It is so fucking weird to me, like the difference in my belly button. And but how freaky the belly buttons are. Like when, how sometimes people will come and try and push you in your belly button. Like, I don't know, maybe I've had weird boyfriends or something, but it's like, go, don't you fucking touch my belly button. And be like, why, what's wrong? And I'd be like, don't touch my belly button. And it feels weird. I cannot stand it. And this whole thing is just, it's freaky. It's like I have the tiniest hole too. It's so motherfucking tiny. And then there's no protrudo thing in there. And it's just like this deep hole. And then it has, it gets all red and this smell. I don't know. It's not like a rotteny smell, but it has a distinct smell. And so I don't know. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's just like a dirty belly button. I mean, there's like nothing in it. There's no lint or dirt or anything like that. So I just clean it with the peroxide. Yesterday I used the food grade one, and then I rubbed castor oil all over my stomach So anyways, I don't know. It's just, I think it's just all part of this whole weird reality and what our bodies are going through or something. So anyways, Stella's got this weird thing going down there. And, but now that other one open, she's got a few more. So, and the chin one, I swear, even though it's big, and it still seems like it's like drying and hardening, like something's going on with it. So I'm going to keep doing the same stuff. But the thing that I was going to talk about, this thing that I was thinking so much about last night, because this is some fucking bullshit, man. This is some motherfucking bullshit. And this is, I mean, it's just, the corruption and stuff is so far reaching. Water has been on my mind lately anyways, with the going to get water all the time and making her not drink any water outside and go through, like, she drinks a lot of water, man. And but the my water bill has been on my mind because of all this other stuff I'm trying to pay, and the water bill is fucking ridiculous, man, and it just went up again. And I can't even get over it. In Spokane, we were paid zero money for water. Zero. Didn't even get a bill. And then come here, at the end of the year, you would get a bill if you went over. And if you went over, you were charged like $10. And I think when I had a swimming pool, that I think I might have gone over. Seems like 1 year in the whole fucking time I lived there, went over. And it was, and it may have been one of those where we had those pools that you had to keep filling, those giant ones that everybody got for a while. And I think probably a lot of people still get them. But when I had kids, you know, but then I got an in-ground pool. But those other ones, like, you have to put the water, well, you don't fill them up all. I don't know. I just know at one time, and it seems like it had something to do with the pool. And, but, you know, $10, full motherfucking year. And here, when I got the first bill, I thought there's a mistake. I called, I was like arguing, and they're like, no mistake. No, that's it. I'm like, do you know the size of my house? I was like, there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way. And it still has got my ass chapped about it because the bill's $175 every other month. And it is, you have to pay it online. So you have to pay the $5, $6, $8 fee to pay it online. Then if you don't pay it by whatever date, then you have another fee. It ends up being almost $200 every other month. And it's just like, this is some fucking bullshit, man. I'm just really sick of this fucking bullshit with the resources. And I mean, this is in the same motherfucking state. This isn't even in a different fucking state. Oh, God. See what I'm saying about the fucking realities and where you are is its own reality. It's its own situation. It's its own things that you have to go through and deal with. And so, and it's going to teach you things. And then you are there with this group of people who are also using this area, these things for their own stuff too. Even though some people have no idea what the fuck they're doing. But anyways, so that the water thing has just been heavy on my mind over the past week or two. And because I have a bill due right now, and I have all this other stuff, like the wood guy, or the tooth thing is what put me over the edge, is the wood guy, my son-in-law, I owe him a bunch of money for all that work, and I want to pay him. And then Christmas, and I wanted to send them money, so I sent them money, but not as much as I would have wanted to send. And as if all these different things, and then right then, and the water bill is due too. It's like, this is some bullshit. So anyways, it had been on my mind. And so this is what we're going to be talking about, is the chemo. And so two women sitting in the doctor's office having a little conversation. One was very enlightened to find out that if you're on a septic tank, the chemo does not, it eats it. Fucking eats your system. And so the woman next to her, she's having to pay $14,000 or something to get this new one put in. And so this lady had no idea. So to find out that you have to let your septic system know when you are taking this stuff, because it's very severe. If it sits inside your system, then it will destroy it. because it's poison and it's a strong chemical compound. And which trips me out too. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, because okay, because I'll add that on when I start talking about the manifesto. So so on this one, so the other woman, she's also on a septic system. So she calls her person and she's like, "Hey, I got to warn, I got to tell you, I'm on this stuff and I've been, I've gone through a round or something. Like you have to get it done every couple months. You have to come out and pump it every couple months because nothing can sit in there. And it's the vomit, the poop, and the pee, all of it. It's all. And so, wow, that's so crazy, right? Well, what the fuck is it doing when it's going in the goddamn pipes and it's going fucking through their shit? And then they turning our fucking sewage into water through their treatment plants and then feed it back to us. There's chemicals that they can't do anything about. Like, this is some fucking bullshit, man. I mean, it was one thing when they were telling us, oh, you're getting other people's medications through the water. You're getting other people's sicknesses through the water. But now this motherfucking chemical compound that wipes out entire sewer systems. Like, are you motherfucking kidding me? I swear to God, I just can't even fucking believe it. Like, the corruption in this fucking charging us for this shit, and then this fucking bullshit. Like, oh man. So if you know that, or if you're on that, or if you know anybody who is on that, you gotta tell them. And then for the rest of us, it's like, fuck, I'm telling you, I don't even feel safe taking a shower. I've cut down. I used to fucking take bath every couple days. Go in and just soak in the tub, do those cleansing baths and all that stuff. I loved it. I liked it. And then they started knowing more about the water. And then there started being weird stuff with ours, like I've said for fucking years now. And it feels like slimy or something. And so then it was like, fuck, I just gotta hurry, get in there and get out. Like, I don't want the fucking shit on me. And then going through but it's water, it loves us. I gotta be kind to the water. And like, it's a whole fucking thing. Like, you go through all these phases as you go through these awakenings. And, but, you know, it's like, so now I'm to like, take a quick shower. I did take a bath the other day. What was it? It seemed like it was something that was hurting. Maybe it was my chest that was hurting really bad. And I was like, fuck, I'm gonna go soak in Epsom salts, which is still the point of pain is like right here. Oh, fuck. And then it goes out, but it's so much under my armpit right now. Like when I cough and stuff, it's like I have to hold a pillow like right there. If I don't hold something, oh my God, it hurts so bad. Which to me, it's got to be the connective tissue, like pleurisy or something. But it's in a weird spot, which is a recently damaged area in my body that was still probably healing, even though we're not flesh and blood, and but there's still healing. I don't know. Our healing, our mental healing goes with our physicality. I don't know how it all works, but somehow it does. It's representative of it, even though it's not flesh and blood. So anyways, there was still injury to the area and I was still having to heal things. And so there was the area that wasn't healed. And I think it's about like right in the lymph too. And it could be one of the things that, you know, is that I needed to see all of the poison, like the constant, you know, if I felt really good, then I would not have the same awareness of, you know, this constant bullshit. And my daughter, okay, over in Yakima, the one I gave the telescope to, I was like, man, you gotta get out there with the telescope. There are so many ships being out there, people are seeing everywhere. But there's so many, especially where you guys can see. And she says it's totally fogged. And right before she told me that, she told me that my grandson, her little one, that he was like every Friday for 3 weeks or something. It was an odd kind of cycle. We'd get up in the morning and start puking. And she's like, I don't understand what the hell's going on. Well, you know, I do. It has to do with that fog out there. And the same thing with her fella. he's having the same kind of thing, and just weird GI thing and stuff. And I'm like, I'm telling you, I've been fucking telling everybody, I've been screaming it from the fucking telephone, is yeah, this is some bullshit. It's fucking poison. And then to find out like this goddamn shit that we don't want to take is coming through the goddamn water. Are you motherfucking kidding me? No wonder the water feels like, yeah, and there's so much chemicals. It's like, well, we gotta put more chemicals in there, so try and save you. Like you're making the, like, I think we could probably start the water on fire. Like this is insane, and we're fucking. There's people drinking this shit, and then we wonder why people are getting so goddamn sick. Why people are going to fucking liver failure, kidney failure, all the cancers all through their fucking body. Like it's fucking bullshit, man. Like obviously that stuff doesn't yell it because it's giving it to people. I betcha. Like, it's mental. It's just so fucking mental. It just really pisses me the fuck off. So let's go to the manifesto now because he's really pissed off too. And I still say this is all part of the show. This is all part of the show. This is all part of the exploiting the truth to get the truth out there. And there's people playing roles. And so, and it's a lot of, there's a lot of Hollywood magic happening. Like, it would not surprise me at all, you know, like go up, you know, oh, it's jammed. And he does this fancy footwork where the cops are all like, oh, it's a professional. Nobody could do that. Like, this stuff is all so absurd. And then he does it again, takes that guy out, and everybody just walks up, steps over him. I think that it would not surprise me if this guy who's supposedly, you know, we've lost that day is really, you know, maybe he's at the get. It got me. I don't know. All these people, like I've said the whole time, I don't believe Anne Hesh died. Like, there's no fucking way. The body bag, she unzips it and sits up right as they're putting her in the ambulance. And all her hair was there. She was not on fire. So everything they say is just bullshit. And those little slip ups are to kind of tweak our minds open. So just let your mind open when you see these things. Don't fight it. Don't try and make it make sense. Let it fall apart. Let it keep unraveling. Because if you keep going in and trying to make it make sense, you're trying to put it back into a three-dimensional understanding, and you've got to let go of it. And so just toss it away. Just, you know, and so it's all a show. It's all a show. It's all in this comprehension of our abilities to be able to, you know, wake up, to change our state of consciousness, to go from that thinking about it to going and doing it. And so it's just this change of our brain waves, which is the change of the vibration. And when we change our vibration, it allows more information in, and we can process better. And so it enlightens us. It makes us better and smarter, and you know, where they want to keep us dumb and low and sad and like that. And they're doing good, and they get people to be so down. There was another huge family annihilation. As you're gonna keep being them. Because you get these people to be so, and there's people with mind control and shit going on too. But so in his manifesto though, so now they've supposedly caught him, which the whole thing, like, there's no way. This is gonna be this is gonna be this is all about exposing stuff. And I would not surprise me if there's gonna be more kind of like Scream or something. When it Scream where it's like, well, I'm the killer. Well, I'm the killer. Well, I'm the killer. Like all these different people. And so, if there's going to be, you know, something like that or something, even Macy's, like, that sells his coat, put the coat on sale with code friend. So if you go in, you can get that code. If you put in friend is the code word, you get 30% off or 50% off or something. So, yeah, this is all a big show. And I don't know. I don't even know. I mean, I've seen things about the masks, the jackets, the backpacks, the Monopoly money, and the manifesto. And I didn't ever hear about the other. I mean, I knew there was another manifesto by the other guy, but I didn't ever hear all the stuff that he was saying. Because this is, was it the one that was supposedly Donald? Was it his or something? I don't know. There's all these ones, but the manifestos, I think, are to kind of enlighten people, to get them to hear and see and wake people up. And so his is, all of the mistreatment that his mom's gone through. I have been listening to testimonial after testimonial. Now they have people coming together and protesting over what the insurance companies are doing to him. See, it's a change, it's a wave. He creates a ripple. These things start a riff and things start moving in a different direction. This is what I've been saying. There's going to be these things that turn directions. And so there where people felt isolated and alone and miserable with their own sickness and fighting the fucking insurance companies and bullshit, then it starts being people coming together and people going out together because the power changes when we come together. And so then you have a group of people, their voices are louder, the confidence grows. So that is where, we're going to keep going in these directions. People are going to keep standing up. And in his thing, he talks about, not being passive. And he talks about the rules of man and the rules that, kind of we're internally born with, which would be the universal rules, God's rules. And our soul knows the rules. That's what trips me out is when people need the Bible for the rule book. Like, you got it inside you. You don't need their interpretation, because they've also distorted it. They've distorted things, and then you accept them because they tell you. So it's like, there's a lot going on with the whole thing. But, so anyways, he talks about that. And then he starts talking about his mom's sickness and all the bullshit with the insurance company. And it is like, especially when you listen to him explain it, but that is the bullshit that everybody with insurance has experienced. And lots of people have lost people over the fucking rigmarole that they create. And so a lot of people are angry. Like I said that the medical was going to be the biggest. That's what I kept seeing. That's how I kept seeing it. It's just like the medical just stands out, that it's going to cause the most outrage and pain because it's created the most loss. But we got to process through it. And that's the thing. There can't be something that's just going to rush in and save us. Like, the med beds like that. That's what's going to piss us off. Is like they've been sitting there the whole motherfucking time. Are you motherfucking kidding me? And what we've all gone through? Are you fucking kidding me? And so people are going to, we've had this time where it's been like, fuck, man, where's the goddamn med beds? Come on. The people who are awake and stuff, and understand and realize that, we can heal through frequency, which I just saw another person who was healing a tooth, and they were using frequency. So they were using some kind of a thing, which I did get my red light out. And because I was trying to use it on Stella's face too, because she hates the red light. I don't know what it is, and it trips me out. Is once I hold it up with my eyes shut, I don't see colors the same I don't know for how long. I think it was pretty long. Yeah, I don't see colors the same. And so then it's like, man, could they be having some of these lights that are not that they're really bad for us, but they pretend like they're the good ones or something? Like, I don't know. Or maybe that's what it's supposed to be. Maybe that's something with my eyes. Maybe that's something with my eyes healing. I don't know. But, any of you guys who use the red light, I don't know, tell me if it affects your eyes, if it makes you see colors different and stuff. And Stella hates it. But, so anyways, but I'm going to get it out again today. I meant to yesterday, but man, these dogs, they keep me so fucking busy. They just go, 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 go. And, so, and then anytime that I don't know, I just feel like I'm busy. I feel like when I had little kids or something. And then, well, I was a stay-home mom, but it's kind of the same thing. I'm sitting here baking cookies all day. I got these little kids running around. So, as I do bake cookies a lot. But so let me think. What it was. Okay, so the insurance companies have been fucking us all hard and raw for fucking long goddamn time, because it's a fucking snake fucking bullshit. It is like a snake eating itself system. And it is falling apart because, yeah, how far can you take it? So they're because I'm so fucking pissed still about the auto one, and that has to do with other things with the judicial and shit. But like, what in the holy hell with the tick? It just pisses me off, man. It's like they are all in cahoots together, And people just, it's our compliancy. It's our just keep on doing it, keep on doing it. And we can't get mad at the people who keep doing it because they're doing it out of enslaved practice. They don't know that anything can be different. They don't know that anything could be better. And I mean, it's like I've had the argument with my mom so many times too. And, well, hopefully, maybe one day, everybody, that's what everybody says. And I keep saying, no, this is happening. This is changing. Everything is changing. And it's like, well, I sure hope so. It's like, you can't prepare anybody for what's to come. It doesn't matter if you tell them for fucking years. They're only going to be able to take what they can understand. And most people, they can't understand that things can get better. But I don't know. As you awaken and you pull into your power and you realize the manipulation and what's going on here, and then you start seeing, oh, it's falling apart. And then you start realizing the cycles of life and the cycles of the universe and the changing in the ages. And it has to do with like the astrology and stuff. And then the whole thing with our patterns of being here in the creation is that thing that they show your chart. That is your life laid out for you from right at the start. And somebody told me that. It was my when I was 16, and the girl from California who moved there, I think I met her when I was 15, is I had been friends with the other girl. I think we became friends. Okay, because I moved into that house. I was 13 in 7th grade. And then we moved, because we were constantly fucking moving. I always had to change schools. We moved into the other one, and that's when I became friends with the one girl. Her name was Kayla Kelly. And we were friends. She was one, and she wore a lot of makeup and stuff, and I always felt like there was a vibrational connection, that I felt like she was being sexually abused. But she would never say anything. But there was something, and I felt like it was maybe her brother or something that was, but it messed with her. But she was, I don't know. But anyway, she was the one who got me into going. We would sneak out all the time. We hitchhiked all the time. She would, I don't know. It was kind of like we did a lot of dangerous stuff. And, I don't know. We did a lot of dangerous stuff. And to me, she was more of the instigator. I was more the follower. She's like, hey, let's go do this. And she had this older brother that gave her this connection to all these older people. And so it was all those older guys that was always around. And like that one that tried to attack me. And the one I said, this was instinct, is when he started to, try and go down there to penetration, I reached my hand down underneath, like however I was down, and then I reached down my hand underneath and then did not see that coming and grabbed it with my fingernails, and I ripped into it. And he jumped up and started screaming, and that's when I took off running. I don't know, I grabbed my pants and took off running. And but I got away. And it was a good thing, because that was like, what the hell is that thing? And so anyways, I got away. And but I did get into trouble with her all the fucking time. And then but that was, I mean, when kids have got fucked up lives at home, they act out. If your kid is acting out, there's something that's bothering them. And so, I don't know. But, it was my life journey too. So, I mean, I went out, made choices, and like had experiences like that. Saved my own ass, man. Saved myself. Oh, I just saw this girl. Okay, because I want to finish that one. Oh yeah, because it was the mom. Okay, so I'll tell that other one in a sec, because that girl. Still, when I get to them, it's like, juggle, juggle, juggle. Which one? Which one? Okay, let's see if I lose them both now. So the friend. Okay, so I'll finish with that one. So when I was friends with her, we were always getting into trouble, and there were so many fucking situations and stories, but then this other girl moved over to our school. She came from California. And so she looked different than the rest of us. And she acted different than the rest of us. And she liked me. And so she started being friends with me and started talking to me and stuff all the time. Because I was super shy. I was super like, I'm just like the fucking Ali Sheedy character in Breakfast Club or something. It's just like, I'm just going to stay here and be hidden. I'm sleeping. Don't bother me. So anyways, I was very, super shy and insecure. But then I was, also the class clown. So I don't even know how you put those things together. And, that I would get in trouble for all the time because I'd have to go get spanked in the hallway. You'd get licks in the hallway. You'd have to bend over. They'd take this big fucking giant paddle and they'd stand out there and swat you with it on your ass. And you would get, I don't know, I don't think I ever got one lick. I think it was always 2 or 3. And I got those all the time. And it just is so crazy. Just especially because now, like if your kid was getting spanked, people would be marching down there. Back then, it's like, she's a bad kid anyway. Maybe she'll start behaving herself. So, anyways, I became friends with this girl, and she was different. Her family was different, and everything. And her mom was like all real natural. Like, and this is Dallas in the fucking late 70s, about to be the 80s. It was disco heaven. And I just got my mom sent me 2 messages, and one of them, I think she was talking about my Aunt Sandy, who was the disco queen of the time, who now would be much older. I think she just fell and crushed all the bones in her face. She's really, really pretty. And I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's who she's talking about. She said Lil Sandy. And that's what she was always called because she was tiny. She's like 5 foot. She would wear these giant heels. And she was this tiny little Italian girl. And so she would, she was a disco queen, boy, I'll tell you. But anyway, so so this Californian family moves in, and they're all like mom doesn't wear any makeup or anything, and she's just all natural. And she's got all these daughters, they're all natural, and they were just a totally different energy. But the mom was really into astrology, and she was trying to communicate with me on something. And I don't know, I wish I would have been more open and understanding. It was all so new and strange to me. And she was telling me some things. I think she did my chart. And it's just is like, fuck, man. Wish I could go back to that time and go in and, understand what it was she was trying to tell me. Because I'm sure that it was like a lot of good stuff. And she could have been telling me stuff about my life. I was being told things. It started definitely back then where I started being told things about my life. It's like when I went with that one person to that, she was going to that psychic. I don't even remember why she was going to psychic. And I can't even picture which friend it was I went, but I was always the person who would go with that kind of shit. And so I have no idea who it was, but they wanted to go to this psychic person. I don't know if it was for a tarot reading, for a palm reading. I have no idea. All I know is we walk in this woman's house, and she kind of, Gilbert Grape, but I don't know, kind of reminded me of that woman because it was this like really big woman, and she's sitting on the couch. And we come walking in, and as soon as I come in, she starts talking to me, and she starts telling me about this past life. She's the one who told me about the gypsy thing and told me about I was stabbed in the stomach and thrown overboard. And that's why I said she had no idea that I've got this mark in my stomach. And I had had GI problems my whole time. I'm scared shitless of open water. And there's a whole bunch of things but see, those things would just happen to me. I didn't ever even pay her any money or anything. And she just told me this whole thing about my own self. And everything was like, went so into alignment with me and my inner personality, or the things I believed and saw and stuff like that. Because I was so into gypsies. I just thought, and I felt like gypsies are so misunderstood. What is the hell is all wrong with these people? Gypsies are badass. And I was like, I fucking loved them. And they would be in the old movies, especially the ones I would watch with the vampires and Frankenstein, because I was really into that stuff. And I'd stay up by myself at night because it would be on Friday night. I would have one of those shows like uh, before Elvira, there was like a guy who would come out of a coffin or something. I don't remember, but it was before Elvira. And so it was like these really old shows. And so all these old, The Mummy, Frankenstein, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, all those old black and white movies, I would stay up at night by myself and watch them. And they would always have gypsies and stuff, and I just loved the gypsies. And so this woman had no idea. She starts telling me that I was a gypsy. I was very beautiful, that I was using people, which I was like, well, isn't that so crazy? Then all of a sudden it flips over and you got people using you. Huh. So I would have things like I was having deeper understanding of things, and also I was having, like guidance that would explain things to me too. So there was those things were always there. The things have always just come to me. And the only thing I could say is maybe because I'm more open to it, maybe some things happen to people and there's like, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Well, I believe this stuff. So I've always been open to it. But that fucking astrology thing, oh, that's one of those things that was like haunting. I have a couple of things of loss of like, I also have the jacket from when I was a teenager. And my mom had saved it that whole time. And when she gave it to me, I had no idea she had it. And she gave it to me. And it was at the time where I was not feeling good about myself at all. And those boobs would no fucking way fit in that thing. And then I just felt like, I should just give it to somebody. Somebody would really appreciate this vintage, cute jacket. There's so many girls out there looking for this kind of stuff. It seems kind of selfish and kind of weird of me just to hold on to it when I'm never going to motherfucking fit in it again. Now I could fit in again, so that haunts me. So, anyways, that astrology, and it's kind of weird because it's both from the same kind of era, the same kind of connection. And it's weird. I sure hope that if whoever it is that fell, because I don't know if she has a friend that is named Sandy too, because she has lots of friends. It could be one of her friends that she's telling me about. So I don't know. There's so many people who are falling apart and getting hurt, and like, and there's so much of, we got to keep on remembering that no matter what, we reunite with all these people. It just isn't the same. Like, we can't go up and hug them and stuff like that. That's why we've got to really be more excited, more gratitude for what we have here. More of like, oh, I get to hug you, I get to be around you. I get to smell you. I get to eat with you. Like different things that we can't do when we're in our energy body, when we're just our energy, when we're just our soul and we're out. Like, we come into this for the experience, and then so many people get caught up in the dramas and stuff. But all that's going to change. And then we're going to get way more into the experience. And that's what's going to be really cool, because all of these dramas and stuff are going to start showing. It's all been an illusion. It's all been a distraction. It's all been to get you to waste your motherfucking time, your valuable time of life, and the time that you get with all the people. And so, anyways, that kind of stuff will be changing. But this one story that I was going to say a minute ago. So, because I remember both things, this girl. So I just saw this girl, and it was so she was doing a stitch. So somebody did a video saying something, and so she did a stitch to kind of respond to what they said. And so the person who said the video said, black moms charge their kids rent when they're little kids or something like that. I don't remember exactly how she said it. And so then this girl comes in and does a response. Her response is so fucking good. I can't even believe this. I keep just running across these stories of these people who are just telling their stories, and it's just, I don't know. It's they're good, and and some of them, it can be tragic and stuff, but they're so beautiful. Like, everybody has a beautiful story. no matter how you look at it, no matter if you feel like you failed, no matter if you feel like people have failed you, everybody has these beautiful fucking stories. And so this girl, her mom, when she was 10 years old, she messed with the birth certificate so that she could so she could make her daughter have to have a job. And she told her daughter, go get a job, and here's your birth certificate. And before, when we would go down to get a job, this girl's way younger. When I would go down and get a job, I mean, it was way different. You just would go in businesses and you would just say, are you hiring? And sometimes they just hire you right then. And it was very different than how it is now. And I don't know, she was still pretty young, this girl. And so her mom messed with the birth certificate, said she was old enough to work, made her go get a job. The girl went and got a job at McDonald's. So she worked at McDonald's at 10 years old, but she said she loved it. She said she went every single day. She loved it so much. And she went after school and she'd work till close, like 1 o'clock in the morning. She'd go home, go to sleep, get up, go to school, do it every day. And she loved it. And, in every check her mom would take, and she never got any of her paychecks. Her mom would take every single one. And she said she didn't care. She didn't even think about that. All she thought about was like every day that she gets to eat hamburgers and french fries and milkshakes, and nobody says a shit to her. And so she was like, this is the best job in the world. And so she loved it. And she said even kids from school would come in with their parents and they would carry on to her about, oh my gosh, you have a twin sister in my class. And she could never tell anybody, no, I'm the girl in your class, because then people would know she's only 10. And she worked there 2 years, until McDonald's figured it out that she was only 12 years old. And so that they had to let her go because it's against the law. And so she then went to work at Dunkin' Donuts. And so it was the same thing after when she worked at Dunkin' Donuts. Then she ended up going to work in a grocery store. So she just kept on working, and never stopped. And even to the point in her story where she ended up going and getting her own place and stuff, and letting her mom move in with her. So she's got a part 2 that she's going to tell about the disaster of letting her mom move in, because her mom took all of her paychecks, never gave her any of her paychecks. And she said it was fine. She didn't think much about it until it became a certain age where she wanted her paycheck. And so she said something to her mom, and her mom said, fine, take it. And she said it was $65, and she was so thrilled. She was like, 65 fucking dollars. And her sister went down and got matching outfits and shoes for a dance, and got a couple things, and because there was something else too. She says the money went real far. She said, yeah, money went way further then. And she even had $10 left over. And so then her mom, she gets home and she's gone shopping and bought this stuff, and she's excited to go to this dance. And then her mom wants the check. And she's like, you said I could have the check. It turned into this big fucking thing with her mom. Her mom got really pissed about the check. And so she would just take her money and never give her any of the money that this girl is working and working. The exploitation that some people have done to their kids. It's still going on though. We haven't evolved from that. We've got fucking people exploiting their kids for fucking views, for fucking strangers. I mean, at least this woman's doing it to pay the bills. So, well, I guess those people are too. They think like views, and they build their whole thing up on their kids' shoulders. So, and then with this girl, but the thing is with the girl that made it so beautiful was because she was taking her lessons, like she was learning things. And she said that, that her going out like that and having to work like that gave her confidence. And so she knew when she became 18 that she could take care of herself. She had no problem. Like, I can fucking work. I can do this. And so she became super, responsible and able to take care of herself, even to the point where, she had her mom move in with her. And I haven't heard the part 2 yet of the disaster, because I guess her mom was super abusive, and then she had to, learn how to have boundaries or something. But the thing that's cool is this girl's story is that she talks about the things that she learned. So it's like she's transmuting the energy. These bad things, what we would consider bad, negative things happen to her, but then she turns them into positives, just like, having to go to work. And then she's just so excited she gets to drink milkshakes all day long. It's just the best thing in the whole wide world. So she just had that ability right then. Because some people, they would be like, oh, well, I'm going to get fired the first day because they're going to have a fucking fit. Especially kids nowadays. There is something that they have done to like take resilience or something to deepen this handicap of insecurity and anxiety. So and it's all been done purposefully. And if you want to know more about it, just go read the 2030, because it explains how they're going to do it, and then what they're doing, and how long it takes them to do it. And so it's all some fucking nonsense and some bullshit. And and there's more stuff being exposed too with the Grand Canyon. I swear to God, I feel like that these people take off from Pakistan or India or wherever they're walking from, and they come out through I swear to God, I bet you they come out. I bet you they walk down inside the Grand Canyon somewhere. I feel like the Grand Canyon is definitely a part of some kind of portal system or something. And what was this one? Because there was a one that is it's being revealed like right now or something. Is it the Laurel Fires, or is it something else? There's something that is being, and it is a home, and it has the the under the ground access system, but then it's what's being exposed, like what we all know, is that the connection to the certain houses, and there's more to it. I can't even remember. There's so many things being exposed right now. So much stuff. It's just going to keep going and going and going too. It's just going to keep building. And there's so much that you just can't even keep up, really. And there's going to be more. Like if that one woman is right, the 13th, I think it is Friday. Oh, Friday the 13th. Is it going to be Friday the 13th? Would that be so fantastic if we got this big disclosure? But they have all this stuff going with the UAPs and stuff. And like them shooting some down or something. There's more and more with this New Jersey build-up thing. And now they've got drones chasing other things that they keep saying are drones, which are obviously not drones. They're obviously some kind of UAP or UFO or whatever. But the thing is that whose is it? Is it our government? And if it is our government, because we have the two sides. So if we have the light that's doing it, it's to wake us up. If we have the dark that's doing it, it's to prepare. They're going to, take us out or something. And, oh yeah. And so there was a clip of Joe, and somebody stopped to ask him about somebody. I don't even know who it is. That's why I said there's so many things. My stomach's growling too. And there's so many things going, and so many people, and so many names and stuff. I think his name is Austin something. I don't know who it is. And they say something about him. And Joe turns around and starts answering and says some stuff. And then he turns back around. And then they ask him another question. He turns around and he's like, who? Who are you talking about? I think they're going to keep on pushing more on like his dementia or something. I'm not sure how it's all going to play out. I mean, we know that the person in the Joe suit is there to play it out, though. It's not really Joe, and it's like none of this stuff is real. And it's just so trippy now because it's 4 years of this unreal shit. And I don't know how it's going to unravel, because there's all these things that both of them did. All the people who, like, if you watch that thing, like I was watching, because I thought, they're going to start coming from the skies. This is going to be the biggest fucking arrest thing that's going to go down we've ever seen. I thought was going to go down. January 2020. Was it? No, January 2021. January 2021, right? I thought that was going to be, this fucking, Jason Bourne kind of situation, or whatever. They're going to be helicoptering in, and all this stuff is going to, be huge arrest thing was gonna happen. So I was fucking watching. I was watching every fucking thing that happened, and it was obvious that they weren't. She had her purse on top of a different, like it was some shenanigans, and then there was also a thing about the time. There was a certain time it was supposed to start. You can't start it before. And so there was a lot of things. And throughout this, awakening, they've said that all of everything that they did and said, or everything that they've tried to do or put into law or whatever, it's all going to go because they were never legal, which, I mean, that's obvious. Like, there's so many parts to that, why they're not legal. And so that's all gonna fall apart. So 4 years of all of their stuff is gonna like fall apart. Like, it would have to be a part of the whole takedown of the government thing, and that is all going. Like, it is gonna be a takedown of the government. And if you haven't seen, there's footage out in front of the White House. So where you would think normally that they're preparing for this thing to happen on the next, January 20th, is but the thing that they've built it looks like the gallows to me. I, and especially after knowing what they did in Libya when this went down, and this is going down in all these other countries. The governments are being taken down, and some of them, like Libya, they were hanging them right, like they can hang in there. I don't know about these other ones, like in Syria, where this has gone, like a whole bunch of different places. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on globally. And this is like, because it is the liberation of man. It's not just us in America. It's that even in the places that we think of being like third world and stuff, that was just that, they've gone through what we are going through. And in my awakening, I became aware of that with the footage of IRAN. So if you go look up, and then they also have the IRAQ, and you go look up at the pictures of them in the 70s, is like, what? How did it go from that to that? What in the holy hell? And it was even a big destination for holidays. And so, yeah, this stuff they've been doing this stuff. And what also trips me out, is like I said, is some of these tribes are tribes that have settled from other places that we think would be outer space tribes or something, but our outer space is our outer space. It's the lands beyond the ice wall, and the ice wall is our containment. And but all of this stuff is going to be changing. The firmament, all of that is going to be changing, and so it's going to open up our world huge. And it's like we're going to be taking down the walls of our world. And that is where, we're going to find all these other realities, all these other places of existence where people are living and having experiences. And some are all around us, I'm telling you. Some are going to be confirmation. Some are going to be much closer than what we think. And I think that there's places like where to us it looks like they're in the sky, but they can be like on some kind of other platform or something. I don't know. I feel like that the once that we start seeing the world is just gonna look different. It's gonna have a whole different look to it. And it makes sense too, yeah, to have the flying things for us to fly around to get to places, because yeah, I think things are just very different than what we think with these. Like, if you think about the inner earth and the cave systems and all that stuff, and then you think of it all being inhabited and being realms and realities. So yeah, it'd be a lot easier to zip around in our little flying cars going to places and stuff. But also, we have to go through this healing. We have to go through this trauma to get to this place that we want to go, to be, free and out there open and be able to do all this stuff. And so all of these things is because it was like our surrender It was our compliancy. And that is like, there's certain things your soul would say no to. And so when you are being compliant to it, then there's a disconnect. And that's why I keep saying it's like that this is the connection between you and your soul. And this is a disconnection of where we've allowed ourselves to disconnect from ourselves. And, you know, they've been doing it to us on purpose, but still, we've allowed this to happen to ourselves. So this is why we have to mend it in order to get back to that state of mind, that state of being. That is why I think it's kind of considered more of a prison planet, because you can't go out of it, but it is your containment, is your vibration. And it's just so trippy because the vibration that is being monitored is the vibration of your being and not your soul. Your soul is kind of in the shadows for a lot of people. That's why I said a lot of this awakening is going to be trippy, because it's going to be people realizing that, you know, they're a soul and this world is fake, and there's this whole other part of the world, this whole other part of existence that they've been ignoring because they've been so caught up in this three-dimensional storyline. And so it's going to be it's going to be something. I think that this part of the awakening, I think it's going to be really beautiful, but it's going to be painful for a lot of people. And it's going to be a hard hit, but then it's going to also linger. It's going to draw out because it's going to keep bringing things up to the people. And it's meant to be that way, but it's going to definitely be painful to witness what some of these people are going to go through. Where, you know, like, that's why I say, you know, like, don't be sitting here, you know, taking shots at people and calling them names and stuff, because you're going to feel bad. And once it starts going and you see how hard it is for these people to go through. And then, and it's also going to build them up a lot of compassion towards the people that they were being mean to because they didn't understand. And so there's going to be healing and stuff that will go on. And so everybody's going to have a lot of healing. It's going to be really a kind of a really good time. But there's also, you know, through the cycles of pain and suffering, loss and guilt, you have the stages. And that will be the thing, is because, like I said, a group of people is much bigger and much louder. So when you get a whole group of people who are pissed off about this, you know, this way that the death has been handled here, is going to really cause a ruckus. I think that's going to be one of the biggest things. And it's going to probably be so fresh, and I'm sure it's meant to be so fresh because of what we're going through right now, with so many people dying off and so many people getting sick, and you know, what it causes the people and their families and stuff to go through. And so it's going to be super fresh for a lot of people in their loss, because, you know, I mean, there's lots of people who are leaving the game at this point. And that is going to be the part that's going to be really raw on some people, especially when it comes to kids, which are so much of that. So I have never in my life, like when I was younger, if you met one person who lost a kid, it was like so tragic. I mean, Gail, who lost Ryan when I was a kid, and it was to brain cancer, and he was 3 years old. I think he made it till like 5 or something, and I was young, and I was like, I mean, I was like 20 or something, and I was like, there's no fucking way. There's no way. Well, how would people be being born with brain cancer? Let's think about this. But, you know, people don't. But I could see it. I could see it then. I was like, this does not make sense. You would not be being born with sickness. This is not making sense. Something's going on here. But I didn't know. I mean, like I said, through life, you're gathering pieces to the puzzle. It wasn't until 2021, or it was 2020 is when my puzzle, all of a sudden, I could just see so much. It was like this whole puzzle just came together, and I could just see so much stuff. And but I gotta understand, like, I knew that you wouldn't be being born sick like that. And kids wouldn't be dying like that at a young age unless there's something going on with our environment, something with some kind of poison. And so, and back then, I was like the only one. Well, Jesus. And then, then we had our own loss in our own family. Then my sister, she lost her baby, and he was 6 days old, I think, and it was a blood clot, and it was super, super sad. It was so tragic. I can't believe it. Then my daughter, she lost Olivia in the last couple of weeks of gestation that Olivia left. And so, and that was a horrible, tragic thing. But but now it is like, Jesus Christ. I think everybody has got to know a couple of people who have lost a kid at this point. Like, there's so freaking many. So many. And so many, like, even with the murder thing, man. The murder, the suicide, all of it. It just keeps going up and up and up and up. Like, we have got to make such changes. One of the biggest things too is learning the future is the kids, and learning what is this world going to come to. You've got to be putting people out into the world that are confident and feel good about themselves, like that girl. And that girl, see, that was her ability to be able to transmute what was happening to her and make it work out good for her to be able to see the positives and to see that it was making her resilient. It was making her stronger. It was making her confident. It made her be able to problem solve. Like, she developed through what she went through, even though, like, I had to start working when I was fucking a little kid. I think I'm sure I was 10. I don't remember when I had to start the paper route. I think I was 10 when I had to start the paper route. But before, I had been babysitting, like I said, like at 3 years old. That's what pissed me off, is I had to go get water for my brother. But it was also the best thing that ever happened to me, because now, I mean, that started my whole communication awareness. So, so whatever, I mean, I don't know that girl's communication. I don't know. But I would say when you can turn things around and you can see the positives, then that makes all the difference. And so that's what and it's trippy too, because the mom was doing the opposite of trying to help build this girl up. I mean, she was just trying to get the bills paid, or I don't know, take advantage. There's lots of parents who take advantage of their kids. There's kids who grow up and are put out into the world with shitty credit because their parents use their social security number and went through their credit. So there's like a lot of things that go on with people, a lot of hard things that people go through, experiences. But the more that you can look at the positive, like a positive with that one could be like, oh, good thing I'm not caught up in the credit bullshit like with everybody else, because mine was fucked by the time I moved out. So that can be a positive. But anyways, this girl was able to turn things into positive. And I think I was pissed off all the time about having to work. Like, oh, damn it, I don't want to go out and do the papers. I think I felt like I was not happy. I was not happy having to go babysit all the time and stuff. So anyways, now I wasn't getting all milkshakes and stuff all day long, and nobody's saying anything. It was like hard work too. I'm sure it was hard work working at McDonald's, but anyways, I was just impressed with this girl, how she was able to turn it into positives, and it was able to build herself up. Because even when it became such a erratic thing with her mom and the paycheck, and she decided to move out, that she had the confidence to do so, that she knew that she could take care of herself. She had no doubts. And I mean, she was fucking taking care of the family. Like, she was the breadwinner. I don't know. I don't know if she was the breadwinner. I don't know what her mom's situation was. Because I think in part two, she said her mom was making $80,000 a year and she would do nothing. This girl was paying everything and her mom would bitch at her all the time. And so, I don't know. I hope I do run across that part too, because I really am just impressed with this girl and her story. And I've heard so many stories. Some of them are so tragic, but it's the people and stuff. It's how they the things that happen and how things can be turned around and stuff. It's really beautiful. And it is, I mean, it's a lot more beautiful than people like taking themselves out because life was too hard and stuff. Like that's always sad and tragic. But we need all things to happen. There's no wrong or right thing. But right now, it's just that there is an influx of these stories of people taking the bad in their life and turning it into something positive or good. And so that is the energy, that is what is flipping. That's what's flipping in the world, is that is kind of like the victim, the poor me, has always been kind of revered or something. But now it's going to be the champion is going to be the person who went through the flames and came out on the other side. And they may be burned, but they still came out and they're happy and they're able to help somebody else get across and show them the way to get across. And so, if that energy is going to change, where we're going to stop, sitting there being like, oh, somebody hurt you. God, that's so mean. And change into like, look at what this one did. Like, look at that. So it's going to be exciting. And it will make, some people will feel bad about themselves because they'll feel like, well, I'm just a rotten son of a bitch. I can't do anything. I just feel sorry for myself all the time. But you just got to work your way out of that. And it's steps. You can't, there's nothing that is like this quick fix that you can just jump from one thing to the next. No, there's steps. And you got to take the steps. And if you're feeling really bad about yourself and you don't feel like you can do anything and everything gets to you and stuff, I mean, you got to validate yourself. Like, be real with yourself. Like, the things that are happening, they're getting you down are real. You got to, maybe you need to go in and spend some time just loving yourself. And, what is that, kind of like petting or rubbing your own wounds, taking care of yourself. And maybe that is what your lessons are about. Maybe you've just never been somebody who took care of yourself. Maybe you're always trying to take care of other people and you always felt pressure and it can have to do with other past lives. Man, we have all sorts of weird past life things, like where you were having to take care of other people. Nobody took care of you. We were having to choose duty over love. We were having, kids taken, land taken, like so much bad stuff has happened throughout the different lifetimes and life cycles and stuff that we've experienced. And so you carry those wounds, you carry those war wounds on your soul. And so, and that's what we're here to heal right now, is heal those wounds. So if you are real down and you're beaten down, don't beat yourself down more about it. Start acknowledging, like, there's a reason I feel beat down. There's a reason. I'm not just a rotten son of a bitch. I am beat down because life is fucking hard and I've had a lot of them. And start really going into learning how to love yourself and learning how to acknowledge your own pain. Because that is one thing too. And I think it makes people kind of angry and bitter when they can't be acknowledged for their own pain and what they've gone through. And so I think it is important for us to all be more willing to just be, I think it's important to not feel like we need to judge people's stuff, but just be like, yeah, you got a story, you got a real story. Like, on all these people, I keep hearing stories. I keep going in and telling them, like, you got a beautiful story. Like, man, it's really beautiful. It's like sad, there's tragic stuff, but it's like really beautiful. Just, it's beautiful that you're just standing there talking about it, man. So, anyways, I just think it's all in this switching in perspective. But when you are stuck in a certain perspective, you're the one who has to pull yourself out. You got to, that's the same thing of like when you reach rock bottom, when you hit your bottom, there's you who has to pull yourself up. And that's the hard thing about the bottom, is like, where it can be all different on all different people. Like, my last marriage was my rock bottom. That was like, fuck, rock bottom, dude. And I had to pull myself back up out of there. And that was that's the journey back to self. You know, that's the facing your dark side and stuff. So you do have a dark side. Everybody's got a dark side. And, you know, some people's dark side is because when they sit and feel sorry for themselves, they get so much attention and people giving them attention and feeling sorry for them and making them feel better. Then that sucking the energy and stuff. But that is where you got to see, like, you're out of balance and then you're sucking energy from other people. But those people have got to also see. So that's why I say it's like it's trippy because all these lessons are linked in. Even these ones with these big accounts, with their when they're falling and all of their followers, because there's all these people like, what the hell? Why would you follow somebody who's doing this? And so it has to have people like question them own selves, because like that Hannah girl, she had a bunch of followers. It's like, why would you follow somebody who's abusing their kid? And why would it take this long for it to go like through everybody to start seeing? Like, and there's not just her. She's not the only one. Oh my God. You got people on there who have their children eating provocatively and videotaping. You got people who use their children for, like I said, likes and views. But when you go in and you see who's commenting and stuff, then you know the audience that you're pulling. And it's like, do you not care if your kid's all plastered all over the dark web? Do you not care that if your kid becomes a target to these stalkers? Like, we've already had that come to the surface. The one guy who started stalking the girl, she's 8 years old, and found her fucking home, was up at the door knocking. And when the cops came and stuff, he was like totally vowed, like, Mom, just here, I'm gonna get marry her. She's 12 years old. Well, she's a person I love, and we're in love. And so that whole fucking weird ass shit. I mean, you're offering your kids up to people who are unstable, who have got fetishes and perversion, who don't have rational thought. They have no control of their own impulses. And this is who you're trying to make money off of? Danger game, danger game. Danger, Will Robinson. Get your shit together, dude. So anyways, that is all these things are coming to the surface. And don't forget, we all get to have our own opinions. You don't have to agree with me. You can look at it however you want. Everybody gets to look at it however they want. And as things unfold, just be willing to shift your perspective, because we all keep getting new ways of seeing. Like, you see it this way, and then all of a sudden you see it this way and this way and this way. It's like everything just keeps unfolding and unfolding. But one thing I do definitely see is that this is a show. Like, the stuff that is so outrageous, so ridiculous, so absurd, it's all a show. And it's all because of when things were little, it wasn't making anybody wake up. Things had to go big. Things had to go extreme. Things had to go ridiculous. Things had to become absurd. And things had to become outrageous. And it's so crazy to watch how people are still playing along with this. Like, they're all still on it. They're riding this fucking thing out. And it's just so weird, because you do sit over here in observation and being like, wow, this is, they're all caught up in everything that is happening. And so, yeah, this is going to be very interesting to just watch how it all plays out. And it's got to be getting closer and closer. Like, something's got to give. And I sure the fuck hope this woman's right. Do you hear that? There keeps being the weirdest sounds that keep coming in. And the dogs will jump up and start barking and stuff. That one might be, I don't know. It's like a loud kind of, oh no, there keeps being such weird sounds. Like, I'm sure they're fucking around with the frequency and shit. And what's so trippy too is we have one motherfucking tower. I don't know, maybe there's some more hidden in the trees or something. But that's probably, that is probably why we're getting the extra dump in all the fog and shit, is because, for one thing, we're blue. For another thing, because, they've still got contracts with these corporations that the trees would be blocking some of that frequency, and so it would be a buffer. So of course they would have to dump more fucking poison on us to get us fucking sicker and get us weaker and stuff. I know that they are. I've been saying it for years. And then it's just going more people like with the fog, and every time somebody gets a fog, people are getting sick. These weird fucking stomach flu things. It's all motherfucking just go and look up some of these chemicals and some of the ones just off of our food ingredients. Just go look at some of those and look at what happens if you were to ingest them. What would happen to you? So it's not just causes cancer. No, it's fucking it's poison reaction. Like, think about the movies or the crime shows and stuff when somebody has been poisoned and they go into the hospital with all these weird problems, nobody can figure it out, and it takes so much for them to start figuring out. That was even happening with the mold toxicity and all that. That's probably why they're like, hey, they got a real problem healing this shit, let's start putting that in everything. It's like, fuck, man. These people are just rotten. Okay, I've been talking long enough. And I did have to give her some medicine because we are running out of her liquid stuff, and I had to get some more of the RSO yesterday because the other stuff's not gonna be here for a week. I don't understand how sometimes it'll be here the next day and then sometimes it's gonna take a fucking week. So I'm saying there's some weird shit all going on. There's so much weird shit going on. The sounds are weird. The energy is weird. Everything is weird. That's another thing that makes me just feel like, oh, we're right on the edge of something changing. So, I don't know. We can only hope that the Friday shit's going to go down like every other fucking Friday. Every Friday, it's like, good, come on, banks. Let's close this shit down. Like, come on, move this on. So, I don't know. Let's all cheer on. Let's use our minds and jump this timeline into the banks have failed and we don't have to pay for resources anymore. Let's jump it and let's get there. So hopefully this Friday is going to lean us in a little bit more into it, and it's going to be, something's going to be exposed and it's going to start going. But I don't know. This is definitely a slow unravel. And the slow unravel, I'm sure, is because it's going to be a period that is going to be chaotic. It's going to be a lot of anger, a lot of temperament, a lot of shit that is going to be going. And I'm sure that this is why they just, because the supposedly is all figured out by this quantum computer that has figured out how to play this out. And so I'm sure the slow unraveling is to kind of diffuse the situation, to kind of, diffuse as many dynamites as they can before it all blows. So even though it's tedious as a motherfucker, and we want it to all of a sudden be to the other things, so we know, like, okay, it's real. But that to me is always what is being shown. It to me is like, no, this is where you got to learn how to trust. This is where you got to learn how to believe and to focus on what it is you want and stuff. So there's a purpose, there's a reason why everything happens. Everything. But the main thing that you got to remember, what you're supposed to be doing is learning how to love yourself, love everyone, and how to have a loving day, because it's totally up to you. So we'll all work on that today, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.